Hello, welcome back to Unit 12, Lesson 7. Thanks for coming to the next video. We're up to example number 4. It says this symbol above BH means the word line. So it says line BH is tangent, which means it touches a circle in one spot, to circle A, which means A is the center, which means DF is a diameter. Oh, and DF is a diameter. Determine the following angle measures. So again, it's just like a little puzzle. So it says determine the measure of angle BCD. So let's find out where that is. Here's B. Here's C. Okay, so that's a chord. And here's D. So this is an angle formed by two chords, which means that this angle is going to be half of this intercepted arc. Okay, so then we have to go back and go, okay, well, what exactly did they... It's going to be half of arc DB. What did they give us? Well, they gave us measure of angle E, which is an inscribed angle formed by two chords, which means it's going to be half of this intercepted arc. So this is the angle that they gave us, which means it's going to be half of the arc, this major arc here, which means this arc out here is going to be 2 times 130 degrees. So that's going to be 260. Well, the last time I checked, if I take this arc from BFD is 260 degrees, the rest of this arc in orange, which is what I need, 300 would form the full circle, 360. So 360 minus 260 is going to give us 100, which means that arc DB is 100, which means angle C is going to be half of 100, which is going to be 50 degrees. So put that right in there. Now they want us to find angle BAF. Well, angle BAF is going to be this angle here. BA, oh, that's going to be a radius. And from A to F is also a radius. So that means that these two line segments are congruent, which means this is an isosceles triangle. But it also means that angle A, this angle A, is going to be equal to arc BF. So it's going to be equal to arc BF. So let's see what else they gave us. All right, so let's see. They gave us this angle of 32 degrees. Well, this angle of 32 degrees is equal to half of this arc right here, because this is another inscribed angle. So 32 times 2, that means that this arc is 64 degrees from arc C to F. All right, and we know that arc DB is 100 degrees. So we have those two pieces. And I also know that right here, this is a diameter. So if I have the measure from arc F to C, then I know I can find the rest of the arc DC by doing 180 minus 64, which comes out to be 116. That's going to be arc DC. So now we have the measure from arc F to C, 64, which is half of the angle 32, or double the angle 32. Now we have arc DC because we had a diameter. We have the measure of arc D to B, which is 100, and that leads back to this inscribed angle here. So now if we take all of those angles and add them together and subtract from 360, we're going to end up with arc BF, which is the arc that we actually need. So we're going to take 100 plus 116 plus 64. All right, and that comes out to be 280 degrees. So when we take 360 and we subtract 280, we end up with 80 degrees, which is the measure of arc BF. And since angle BAF is a central angle, it's equal to the intercepted arc, which means it's 80 degrees. Now they want angle BDA. Where is that? B is here. D is over here. BDA. So they want this angle here. All right. Well, that angle is formed by a chord, and if we continue this line out, it's formed by another chord, and it actually intercepts this arc of BF. So therefore, that inscribed angle is going to be half of arc BF. So 80 divided by 2 is going to be 40 degrees. And last but not least, they want angle FBH. So let's find out what that is. F is here. B is here, and where is H? Oh, H is over here. Oh, okay. So this is a chord and a tangent. So this is going to be half of arc BF. So this angle formed by a tangent and a chord is half of arc BF, which is 80 degrees, which means it's going to be half of 80 degrees. So you can always go back to the previous page and you can look at all that information that I had written down, right? Inscribed angles are half the arc, angles formed by tangent and chords are half the arc, central angles are equal to the arc, diameters form two semicircles, 180 degrees, and the sum of the three interior angles of any triangle is 180 degrees. So you can always go back to that information. And we'll go on to example number 5. And please feel free to pause the video, try it on your own, and then come back and check out your answers. Example number 5 says determine the measure of the angles lowercase a, lowercase b, lowercase c. So I always start with what did they give me? They gave me this angle of 63 degrees, which is formed by a chord and a tangent. So just like we've been talking this entire time from the first problem, or second problem I should say, we know that the angle formed by a tangent and a chord is half of the intercepted arc, which means this arc is 63 times 2, which is 126 degrees. Then what else did they give? So what we did is we're going to look over here. They gave us this angle of 56 degrees, which is formed by angle E, B, and my computer cut off this part here, so I'm assuming there's another point out here. But this whole angle is 56 degrees, which means arc E all the way over here to B is going to be twice the measure of this angle formed by a tangent and a chord. Tangent and the chord. So this part of the arc is 112 degrees. So to find the rest of the arc, we know that a circle contains 360 degrees. So we're going to take 126, we're going to add it to 112, and then we're going to subtract from 360. So right here, 126 plus 112 is 238. Then we're going to take 360 minus 230, and we get 122. So 360 minus 236, and we get 122, which means the measure of arc DE is 122 degrees. So if we look back here at angle A is going to be an inscribed angle, and that's going to be half its intercepted arc of arc EB. So it's going to be half of arc EB. So it's going to be half of 112, which is 56 degrees. Then it says to find angle B, or lowercase b, and that angle is also an inscribed angle formed by two chords, and that's going to be half of arc DB. And we said arc DB was 126 degrees. So 126 divided by 2 is 63 degrees. And then last but certainly not least, angle C is also an inscribed angle, and it's going to be half of arc DE. So it's going to be half of 122 degrees, which comes out to be 61 degrees. Now this is also a triangle. So once you had two angles, you could have done 56 plus 63 and subtracted from 180, but we can also check our work by saying 56 plus 63 plus 61, that is 180 degrees, which is the sum of the three angles of any triangle. Fantastic. So like I said, this is kind of like a little bit of a puzzle piece. You're just going to take each piece and you are going to figure out what you have, what formula you should use, and now let's talk about what we've learned about tangents. Fill in the blanks. It says on the first one, a tangent line intersects a circle in exactly 1 point. A tangent line is perpendicular to the radius, forming right angles. Two tangent segments to a circle from an external point are congruent, like we did it in the first do now. The measure of any angle formed by a tangent segment and a chord is half the angle measure of its intercepted arc. And if an inscribed angle intercepts the same arc as an angle formed by a tangent segment and a chord, then the two angles are congruent, which is what we did on the second page. So what you're going to do now is try these two independent practice problems. Then don't forget, you're going to take a picture of each of the pages that you just completed, including the independent practice. Don't forget to upload it into Canvas. And you guys are doing a great job. Have fun with this. It's like a little puzzle. Keep up the great work.